Iran building up its defenses on its
What's up,
Kharg Island
everybody?
ahead of a potential U.S. ground operation, all as the Trump administration
Kharg
tries to
Island.
find a diplomatic path to end the war. Sources
See.
familiar with U.S. intelligence reporting tell CNN Iran is laying traps
Good
and moving
morning.
military personnel and air defenses to the
GZ
tiny
reacts.
island that handles about 90% of the nation's crude exports. Sources also tell CNN the Pentagon is weighing a takeover of that island as a way to force the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. But there is concern among officials about whether risks to U.S. troops outweigh the potential gain.
The Strait of
White House Press
Hormuz,
Secretary
okay.
Caroline Leavitt today offering little information about whether Congress would be called if even more troops are set to be deployed.
That formal authorization from Congress is not necessary because we're currently in major combat operations in Iran. The Department of War and the President, as I said, estimated about a 4 to 6 week timeline for the full completion of these military combat operations.
4 to 6 weeks timeline of military completion. Yes. Yeah, right. No. Always. Russia said remember when Russia started their war? They were going to go blitz straight up to the capital. They sent tanks straight in a line to the capital of Ukraine. And then they sent all their crap stuff first and just threw it away. And then I guess now they're in like a 3-year war. I think they're still at war. I don't know if they came to a resolution yet.
At this moment, it's unnecessary. The President likes to maintain options at his disposal.
The White House is still pressing on to find an off-ramp to the war. Sources say the U.S. offered a 15-point list of expectations this week, with Pakistan serving as a diplomatic intermediary.
Whoa, look at his eyes. His eyes look so black right there. Like, his eyes are black. What the fuck? Maybe that's
An
the
Iranian official
camera.
today rejecting that proposal through state media. Iran is offering its own conditions, and the Iranian official says Tehran will not allow Trump to dictate the timing of the war's end. President Trump said Tuesday Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, set to lead negotiations. Officials telling CNN a potential meeting this weekend could happen in Pakistan, although exact timing and location remains very fluid. The president also has said Secretary Rubio, along with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, will take part in negotiations with Iran, although it's still unclear whether they'll travel to Pakistan for a meeting this weekend.
His are brown, his are light, his are light. Rubio good. Yeah, this guy, look at his face. Like, he looks like somebody you don't want in control. Rubio looks like a nice guy. This guy looks scared or something. I don't know what's wrong with him. He looks like, I don't know. He looks nice, though. He looks nice, like a nice man when I actually take a look at his whole face. This guy looks like he may not have kids yet. He may have kids. I don't know. But this dude, he looks nice. Rubio, I've seen some Rubio, from what I've seen, he seems pretty cool. But I'll be looking at the forehead region right in here, but then you look at their eye right here, like their eye structure. See how his eyes like arch normally? His arch normally. Well, he's got like this stern look, but that could be just in the moment, But dignified man here. Gray hair is nice, nice dude. Rubio, big ears. I don't look at the ears too much. This guy got giant ears too. All three of these guys got some ears. You know what I'm saying? But see his nose a little too sharp. I mean, right here, you see that crease right there? That crease, how his folds, that crease tells you that something else. Like, you could have a discerned look, but you can't look like this already at this young of a face, So this guy, I may be wrong, but I would bet 2 good, 1 learning. He's learning. He might grow up to be good.
Let's discuss all of this with retired Brigadier General Steve Anderson. General, really appreciate you coming in. I want to start with this.
Hold on. But look, that way on this one, he looks intelligent. Let's see. There you go.
Stand for a meeting this weekend. Let's discuss all of this with retired.
Okay. Still good. Still good, honest man. Yeah, this might be his robotic face. He might do facial training and eh, you know what I'm saying? Like in the mirror, and this is how he looks in the mirror when he talks to himself. Very robotic. So I don't believe it. I don't believe his face right here, but it could be. I just could be biased. I don't know.
Retired Brigadier General Steve Anderson. General, really appreciate you coming in. I want to start with the headlines that people may have seen. CNN reported about a deployment of about 1,000 troops from the 82nd Airborne. And just to start with the 82nd Airborne itself, spent a lot of time in Fort Bragg as a kid, the significance of the unit.
It's a great unit. The immediate response force that they put together, probably about 1,000 troops, although some people are saying perhaps 2,000. That's probably about a battalion's worth. They can be on the ground in about 22 hours or so to fly to a place like probably Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. That would put them, if the mission is Kharg Island, they'd be about 250 miles away. Still a long shot, but still something they could do. If the mission is in the Strait of Hormuz, as some people have talked about, that could be also 250 miles away, and they could go to seize an island there. But I mean, this is a light unit, okay? So they're going to have crew-served weapons, they're going to have individual weapons, they're going to have some mortars, they're going to have aviation support, they're going to have Apache helicopters. You know, they're going to probably be lifted in on Chinooks or maybe even Blackhawks. Probably take about 70 some odd Blackhawks to move a unit of that size, a battalion size, into Kharg Island. If they had C-130s and they wanted to do an airborne operation, which they could, take about probably 15 or so C-130s. But again, that's a very, very dangerous situation. So it's a very capable unit, but they're small. They're probably most ideal for taking something like the airfield at Kharg Island.
The buildup that we've seen also, Marine units have been moving toward the region as well. I think there's a lot of questions about what it actually means, whether it's an optionality issue or whether it is, there are definitely going to be boots on the ground.
Okay, so what's happening is they put a battalion of troops. Now, this is a tester group. They want to see, I'm pretty sure they already have troops there, but they want to see, China's watching, Russia, all nations are watching. They want to see how well this 1,000 troops do. Because if these troops just get decimated and then they got to send another, like, how long does it take for America to send in their next battalion? So that's what everybody's watching. Because if they send them in like next week, like, okay, they're setting up the battle right now. That's another thing I heard they mentioned. So if you can imagine, like, Iran's like, oh yeah, we're going to war with America, but we're used to like just bombing people, bombing them. They hit us back, we fight. But America's out there like just out in the side, just massing up, setting up their like Roman fortification just outside of range. And now they're gonna have these like mortar cannons just barraging the countryside with just shots. So it's good to see the actual setup, but this is always, when you watch CNN, they'll run for 5 hours on CNN and show 3 clips over and over. Those troops unloading, a couple Chinooks dropping, you know, but that's it.
Speaker Mike Johnson said this when he was asked about it. Listen.
The buildup of troops is very different than boots on the ground. We don't have boots on the ground. I don't think that's the intention, but I think Iran should watch that buildup and they need to take note of that.
Yep, that's what I was saying. They're just building up troops, setting up the fortification line way far out, not actually going in, trying to limit losses and just take it into a battle now. But to me, troops on the ground, if you think about it in like layman's terms, 1,000 troops seems like a lot. But when you say 1,000 drones, it's not a lot, you know? So who's to say if you have a bunch of fucking, a whole room full of Iranian tech nerds, each controlling a drone, you know, say like 1,000 fucking Iranian tech nerds, they'll just fucking destroy. They can, you know, constantly load up a new drone, send one. Okay, you guys shot that down. Let me go, you know, go back to the warehouse, type in a new control for loading up a new drone, and then get the drone sent. It's not that much. Like fighting with troops, all this talk about troops, and then to me, it doesn't matter. The future of warfare is not going to be boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Never. That was 30 years ago. We got drones now. Like, we got damn near AI robots that can do it themselves. Why waste human lives why waste lives of these young kids who are, you know, young kids are like, like these young kids. Okay, I play video games. All right, these young kids, they quit. Score could be it's a 13-14. The game score 13-14. They'll be quitting. They'll be throwing the surrender vote because they feel like they can lose. So I don't think the mentality of and like look at LeBron James. Compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan, and you will see the ideology because all humans are the same. So Michael Jordan, if LeBron James was born when Michael Jordan was alive, and vice versa, they would be the same. Michael Jordan wouldn't have his willpower if he was born later on in life. Like if Michael Jordan was looking up to Kobe, which LeBron does not look up to Kobe, so vice versa. Maybe he did, but off topic. What I'm saying is no matter where you put a human, they're always going to be what they were going to be. So Michael Jordan, which is the product of his environment, you know what I'm saying? The tough times of the 80s and 90s created Michael Jordan. And LeBron is who he is because of the soft times of today, It allowed him to throw fits and pout and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is today's kids are not they're not built like that. You can put them in a suit and all that. There's some that are. A lot of them are, because mentality of men go back to being caveman. We gonna always be rough men, but there's a whole lot of percentage of men that are trying to lose the caveman instinct and trying to go against their own instinct. And then that's when you come out with all these other type of situations, you know what I'm saying, that make people want to quit. All right, let's keep it pushing.